start with the hanging lock with a pin. As you can see, it is closed. Let's take an ordinary screw, insert it into the well, and begin to tighten it smoothly with the screwdriver. It's not that hard. When the screw fits tightly inside, we take a crowbar and pry it, pull it, and pull the mechanism itself out of the lock together with the screw. The mechanism is outside, which means nothing will prevent us from opening the lock. To open an ordinary suspension lock, you will need 2 wrenches. Hook them on the shackle and start spreading on opposite directions. And here are some examples of how it works in real life. Even on the door, or even on a gate. And if the lock is too big, add an extra stop between the keys. A little more complicated, but the lock still tends itself. This method also works with combination lock. If the lock does not give in, try to change the position of the key so that the pressure is directed to the upper part of the shackle. He will definitely not resist this. And yes, this method will work with the padlock, although it takes much more effort than all previous locks. This method is universal, but after that, the lock will already be decommissioned. And here's another way to open such locks. To begin with, we'll fasten it. And now, we need a gas burner. Unscrew the gas to the full and then install the burner directly opposite of the lock. This method will take a decent amount of time, so it's better to fix the balloon in place. Gradually, the flame will burn all the paint and then begin to heat up the metal of which the lock consists. When the temperature becomes critical, the lock will gradually melt and crumble. It will only be necessary to help him a little with the wrench. That's it. The lock is open. And here is the metal that has fallen to the ground. It was aluminum or another fusible metal. However, with the steel lock, this trick is unlikely to work. Now, something more interesting. We have handcuffs next. Throw away the key and lock them on my wrist for the purity of the experiment. As you can see, everything is reliable. Now, we need a regular hairpin, or rather an en-bloc metal plate. Driving it into the groove, we will push the fastening off the handcuffs off of it and they will open. It's even easier to do it with a free hand. Overlapping the thread inside, the barrette does not allow the handcuffs to function normally. That's all. And next, we have a combination lock. And that's how it works. We'll pull a shackle 180 degrees, Click on it and make a random combination of numbers. After that, we pay attention to the shackle and close the lock. Rearrange the numbers and the lock is closed. To open it, first align the numbers and pull the lock. Lock it in this position. We check the reels. The drum moves freely, then the digit is not part of the code. And if it is tight, then you guess the number. Now, you need to find the right number for each reel. It may take some time. Until the castle finally opens, and most importantly, after that, the castle will remain intact. And now, we'll show you how to make a lockpick from an aluminum can. We will need such a small plate on which we make 2 shallow incisions, bend the sides, round off the central part with scissors. Now, let's close our test lock with the key. We drive our master key into the mechanism of the shutter of the shackle. You will need to make an effort, but the lock will open. If the lock has 2 locks, then we will need 2 lock pins. As you can see, combination lock has a similar shutter mechanism. So, let's check our lockpick on it too. As you can see, combination lock has a similar shutter mechanism, so let's check our lockpick on it too. It's a little more complicated because of the shape of the shackle, but this lock also lends itself. In addition, it retains its working capacity. Let's take a hammer and a single bolt lock. Let's hit the castle hard with the hammer. On the second attempt, it opens. And at the same time, maintains integrity. Let's try it again and again. Success! Let's check on the lock with 2 locks. Unfortunately, no matter how much we beat, the lock remains firmly closed. Take an ordinary paper clip and straighten one of its ends. Now, we will need pliers for fine work. We create this shape. We fold the second paper clip in this way and bend the loop. Here is such a master key we have turned out. Let's check it in practice. When the key enters the well, its thread lines up all the cylinders in a row and the lock opens. We will be able to achieve this with a little help of our tool. It's not as simple as it looks, but it works. Let's do it with the opaque lock. We had to work blindly, but we succeeded. As you can see, this is a very painstaking and time-consuming work. In order to do it faster, you will have to get the hang of it. But then, any lock will give in to you. Such master key can be made from a hair clip. She will work exactly on the same principle, not all inferior to her colleague. Let's take an inexpensive padlock and close it. From the side of the mechanism, we will gradually scrape off the top layer of zinc with the screwdriver. At some point, you will see the silhouettes of the cylinders on the body. Now, let's take a thin drill and start sawing the cylinders. After that, the mechanism will simply crumble. It remains only turn the weld with the screwdriver and the lock will open. Some locks can be opened with the kitchen knife. By inserting it at the right angle, you will easily push through all the cylinders. It remains only the crank and the lock will open. Of course, it is more difficult to do this blindly, but with proper skill, any lock will give in to you. With this method, the locks do not break, so you can continue to use them. Let's take a pin and cut off its head. We will push a pin into the well and try to find the cylinders. Then, we will put a screwdriver and try to turn it with effort. The lock is open. Let's try again and again with success. And now, we will show you how to copy keys with improvised tools. The key role in the key is played by its carving. Let's heat the key with the lighter. When it is covered with a dark layer, we will attach a sticky tape to it and remove this dark layer. The drawing was printed on the tape, and now we will transfer it to a plastic card. Using scissors, we will cut out the key according to the silhouette, paying special attention to the card. Now we have an extra copy. Let's check it out. The lock opens on the first attempt. Such a copy can be made from a jar, a bottle, and a battery, and also from 4 layers of paper or even 10 layers of ordinary tape. For copies made of soft materials, but the example of these 3 eggs clearly shows their age depending on their position in the water. And here's an easy way for you to quickly peel the boiled egg. Break the shell from 2 opposite ends and roll the egg a little on a hard surface. Now the shell will come off in just a couple of light movements. Well, if you plan on cutting the egg for a salad, then just cut it in 2 halves with a knife, pick up the egg with the spoon. It's a matter of a couple of seconds. Now, we'll need a large onion ring and a bell pepper ring. Put them in a frying pan and pour an egg in the center of each ring. As you can see, the eggs do not spread in front of each form. Fry until tender and serve garnished with herbs. Such a beautiful and delicious breakfast. But this life hack is not only suitable for vegetables. Simply remove the inner part of a piece of bread, melt the butter in the frying pan, put the bread and pour the egg into the center. As soon as it grabs one side, just turn the egg over the toast over. In just a couple of minutes, such an unusual breakfast is ready. How delicious, is it? Besides, the yolk remains liquid, just how I like it. Now, we need to separate the egg white from the yolk. Add a pinch of salt. Beat it with the mixture in dense peaks. Half of this delicate foam will be placed in a steel pan. Put the yolk on top and cover it with remains of protein foam. Fry one side and then turn it over. Just 2 minutes in the frying pan and our incredible tendery, airy egg is ready. I made a small burger out of it. Here's how it looks in the cut. For this life hack, we will cut an ordinary sausage into 2 halves. Then, we will make a shallow incisions throughout the entire length from a ring from it and fix the ends with the toothpick for reliability. We will place our rings in the frying pan and of course, we'll pour egg into the center. This is not just an unusual breakfast, but the real flower arrangement. And if you absolutely have no time to cook something in the morning, an omelet in a glass will come to the rescue. Break an egg into the glass, add milk, whisk it with a fork, put the glass in the microwave, and run it for 2 minutes at maximum power. Voila! Delicious, simple, and most importantly, a quick omelet is ready. By the way, you can also cook a poached egg in the microwave. Break the egg into the glass and pour a small amount of water. Cover the glass with the saucer so that the water does not evaporate from the glass. A couple of minutes, and the egg boiled to the required degree. And the yolk remained liquid. Let's try something more interesting. Chop the red cabbage, then separate the egg white from the yolk and add purple cabbage juice filtered through cheesecloth to it. Stir and add a little lemon juice to make the shade more pink. Now pour the resulting substance into a frying pan and when it seizes, pour out another egg white. We put the yolks on top so that we get a resemblance of the yin-yang symbol. Thus, we get a truly balanced breakfast, unusual, healthy, and most importantly, delicious. Now, we need a hard-boiled egg. It should still be hot. Let's put it in this form, which we made from a sheet of cardboard and several rubber bands. Press down on top with the wooden stick and fasten the other end of it also so with the help of elastic bands. In this form, we'll leave the egg to cool, which will allow it to retain the shape of set by the wooden stick. It looks like an egg with a dent, but now you will see it in a different section.